Sandslash is getting its community day this weekend, Sunday, March 13th, from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. local time. If you evolve a Sandshrew into a Sandslash, it will know Night Slash. And this is a pretty big deal for Sandslash here, because up until now, this Pokemon has been, fairly slept on, right? It has Mudshot, which is big. It has Earthquake, which is massive. Mudshot Earthquake, that sounds really good, but it hasn't had a low energy cost charge move to, bait for the Earthquake, to really drive the Mudshot spammage home. And now we have Night Slash, which is fantastic. So because of this, I feel like Kantonian Sandslash has a lot of potential in Great League PvP now, possibly even Ultra League PvP, especially the Shadow version too. So I decided to whip together the Kantonian Sandslash PvP IV Deep Dive, basically highlighting what the best PvP IVs are and stat checks are for Great League PvP. I didn't have time to do Ultra League PvP, so no Ultra League stats on this guy, but Great League. Got him for you. If you are curious about Alolan Sandslash, I already did the Alolan Sandslash PvP IV Deep Dive, link up above and an description to that video, covering Alolan Sandslash in both the Great League and Ultra League. I also talk about Alolan Sandshrew as well, which is also quite good in Great League PvP. This video is going to be focusing on the Kantonian Sandslash plural, because there's the Shadow version. I also have all this information, including the Alolan information, in my article on GamePress, the Sandslash PvP IV Deep Dive, covering all the information in this video and that video, and a couple more details because it's, in article format, so it's easier to put even more details in it, pack it all in. So link in the description to that too, especially if you want like a, text-based reference instead of having to reference a video to find the numbers that you need to know for your Sandslashes. But without further ado, let's get into it. Compared to most of my PvP IV Deep Dives, I think this one's going to be pretty short and sweet. Both the regular and Shadow Sandslash here, the main thing that they care about in Great League PvP is having somewhere between a 121 and 123 attack stat. Now there are some interesting breakpoints that fall before that range and within that range, but the main ticket item here, the big deal with this attack range, is that you can get Charge Move Priority, CMP, on Venusaur, Frostlass, Sableye, and Mew. And these aren't insignificant Pokemon to get, Charge Move Priority on. I'm not sure if this boy is going to be, an open meta type Pokemon. The deck might be a little bit too stacked against it, but when it comes to Cups, I could see this thing doing a lot of damage in the Kanto Cup. So you got Venusaur and Mew all over the place there. And then when it comes to Cups, Frostlass is kind of like the Cup King in a way. And getting Charge Move Priority and having the potential to possibly overcome a Frostlass as a ground type Pokemon, I think that's a pretty big deal. So yeah, and all four of them, same attack range, 121 to 123. If you want a little bit of a frame of reference for the Venusaur CMP at least, the 122.6 to 123 attack weight is what's recommended in my Venusaur PvP IV Deep Dive. Also, link up above and a description to that too, if you want to get learned up on Venusaur and Shadow Venusaur in Great League and Ultra League PvP. Now, as far as the bulk check goes on this, I feel like both versions also want to have at least 120 defense. Of course, having more bulk could be better. When it comes to defense breakpoints though, I think 120 covers most of them. If you want to be very comfortable with the defense breakpoints, you could pump it up to 122. Anything beyond 122 though is just I guess just gravy. It's not a bad thing, but it's not necessarily a sought after thing. Pumping up more of your HP could be more desirable after you cross 121 defense. Circumstances depending, of course. When it comes to the attack weight, find the attack weight, and if you got multiple to choose from, then probably just choose the one that has the highest stat product there. And then for a tiebreaker, I would tend to favor ones that have, a slightly higher attack stat, but not going over the 123, and having more of an HP weight for a tiebreaker. And here we have an IV table showing you the 984 different IV spreads that meet having at least a 121 attack stat and at least a 120 defense stat. Link in the description to this, of course, so you can ogle it yourself. And also, if you want to be a little bit more of a snob about this, you can go down to the bottom and, maybe pump up the attack to 122, and then maybe pump up the HP to like 120, to like kind of clear out a bunch of the riffraff and give you some more like premium IV spreads, so that way you don't have to like sort through 1,000. You only have like 300 to, you know, narrow it down between. Or you could pump out the defense a little bit more too, now narrowing it down to 162 IV spreads. So, you know, you can have more options by just using the bare minimum checks, but if you want to make sure you're getting that premium good stuff, well, then you can manipulate this stuff down here as well. But yeah, if you're looking for a really good bulk, you know, 122.3 attack weight, you can see that it's the 3 attack, 13 defense, 2 stamina. So that's all I have to say about the Kantonian Sandslashes here. If you got any questions on this content, of course, comment below, let me know what's up, and I'll be happy to help you out. And make sure to check out my article, linked in the description on GamePress. It might answer some of the questions for you already. And if you enjoyed this kind of content, you want to see more like it, well, make sure to subscribe to SwagTips. I'd also like to give a special shout out to these Patreon supporters. If you want to support Swagman on Patreon, link in the description.